Hey guys, in today's video, I wanted to talk about something I thought I'd never film a video on. I thought this would never happen on the iPhone and on the iPad, but it looks like it's about to happen. Apple could be allowing iPhone and iPad users to sideload applications or even third-party app stores on to the iPhone. Yes, we've been doing this on Mac computers and PCs for years. We've been doing this on Android devices for years as well, but it looks like strict regulations coming in 2024 may force Apple to enable this on the iPhone and iPads. Now, there's a few catches, right? Apple looks to still want to have a bit of control over these methods. I wanted to explain how this could work in the future and how soon we'll be looking at Apple allowing sideloading of applications and even third-party app stores onto the iPhone. And now, as always, if you would like to stay up to date with the latest iOS news and Apple software updates, of course, don't forget to subscribe and turn on those notifications so that you don't miss another episode. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is sideloading applications on the iPhone. Again, this is something that Apple is doing to comply with strict regulations and requirements coming in 2024, the Digital Market Act, and this could force Apple to allow you to install third-party apps directly from websites. So on your Mac, you don't necessarily have to go through the Mac App Store to install an app on your Mac. You simply go to the website, you can download the API, install it onto your Mac, and that's it. On the iPhone, it doesn't work that way. On the iPhone, you go through the App Store. On the iPad, you go through the App Store, and that's the only source. Well, let me show you how side loading would work on the iPhone, as Mark Gurman mentions that Apple could have some control over the experience even though it is side loading. So for example, let's say you go to a website where there's an app that isn't allowed inside of the App Store, but you still want to install it on your iPhone. Of course, jailbreak apps oftentimes do not get allowed into the App Store, or all the time don't get allowed into the App Store. But if you allow side loading on the iPhone, let's pretend that this application here, the Alt Store, is the App Store for a few seconds. So let's go ahead and remove the App Store here, move it over here, and let's pretend this is now the App Store, right? So let's say you go to a website and you want to download an application that isn't allowed inside of the App Store. Well, you click the link and it will redirect you to the App Store to install it using side loading methods, as you can see right there. This way, Apple can still have some control, sort of filter the application, make sure that there isn't any malware being installed onto your iPhone. And this way, Apple could comply, right? You install the app using the App Store by side loading from a third-party website. Now, I don't believe that Apple is going to fully allow third-party app stores inside of the App Store. I think they would do something like this, where you can click a link on Safari or any third-party website here, and then just simply install the API, side load it, installing it using the App Store. That way, Apple can still have some control over the experience, but at the same time, also comply with these regulations. So you see right there, the Alt Store now has installed this Uncover app onto my iPhone, just like so. I can launch it. Of course, this app isn't allowed in the App Store, but if you're allowed to sideload, then you can do this. Now, as I mentioned, this could happen as early as iOS 17, because iOS 17 will most likely be released towards the end of the year 2023. So by the year 2024, we'll still be running iOS 17 on our devices if Apple continues with, with the number counts, 15, 16, 17, right? So iOS 17 by Christmas next year will most likely see this method being implemented onto our iPhone. Now, the first beta for iOS 17 will most likely happen on next year, 2023, June, WWDC. That's when we usually see these first betas for the next major OS, as per usual. So we're about 6 months away from seeing something like this. But this is how you sideload applications onto your iPhone, right? So it's something that we've seen for years on computers. We've seen it for years on Android devices. I would like to hear your thoughts in those comments down below. What do you think about these new regulations? Do you think it's okay for governments to sort of force Apple to do things like this? Are you happy with this move? And again, would you like to see something like this happen worldwide? Because it looked like Apple will only be required to comply the EU. It doesn't look like Apple will probably roll this out worldwide at first, and will only comply only in the regions where they have to. So I would like to hear from you. Would you like Apple to allow this onto the iPhones and iPads for future app download? I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is monumental. This is big changes coming to the iPhone. Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.